Hi everyone, this is the Heart Property Managers YouTube channel and my name is Winnie. First, I want to give a shout out to all those people who do this YouTube thing consistently, diligently, and deliver stunning and very good videos through and through. Respect. Because I've tried to do this consistently, getting topics to talk about, getting exciting and real estate information that I can share with you. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and it is not for the faint hearted. So shout out to you if you're watching this video and you've been doing YouTube for over the years and delivering videos every other week, even more than one video. I give you so much respect because this is a lot of work. So when they say when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. Anyway, let me take you back. Today, our topic of discussion is about KYC. And KYC is an acronym that means know your customer or know your client. So when it comes to real estate, this customer or client could be a landlord, a tenant, a buyer, a seller that you are interested to know as a real estate agent so that this information can be used to develop a portfolio that is going to help you secure a tenant, secure a sale, or just conclude a sale in good time and also earn your commission. So know your client is a very complex and complicated topic, especially in Kenya, or can I say in Africa, especially in Kenya, for these many reasons. Let me just go straight to the first one. KYC, know your client, know your customer. So the complex relationship between landlord, agents, estate agents, and tenants in KYC. Unlike developed countries where you find the systems are well more organized, um, in Africa, or can I say in Kenya, it's a bit more complex to implement KYC. Even for those who have traveled around the world and have been to Western countries where if you want to rent a house or if you want to buy a property, you need to make an application and it is important to fill in information that will allow the landlord to appraise you for their property. When it comes to Kenya, it's such a complex situation. And I'm talking about this because on a daily basis, we encounter this nature of people trying to hold information and not tell you anything about themselves for some reason. So let us discuss why is it such a complex relationship between landlords, tenants, and real estate agents or buyers when it comes to declaration of information to enable a real estate agent to appraise you for a particular property. Unlike developed countries or Western countries, the issue of KYC is paramount when you want to rent a property or when you want to buy a property. If you've spoken to many people, the first step when you are looking for a property to rent or you're looking for a property to buy, you need to make an application. We as estate agents in Kenya probably don't go that far of asking you to make an application. But I realized that the mere thought of asking someone, please, what is your name? Where do you work? Where do you currently live? What's the budget that you have? Becomes such an offensive topic. And I can say to some of our clients who are actually very much conversant with these requirements, if they've traveled the world, they're very much conversant with this requirement as a way of appraising someone looking to rent or buy a property. So why is KYC important? Say, for example, to a landlord. KYC is important to a landlord because in that process, they're able to identify the right client for their property. They're able to make decision on the duration. They're able to make a lot of decision concerning whether they want you to rent their property, if they know your history of rental, they know your place of work, because renting a property can constitute so many benefits and risks. And some of the risks that come with renting a property to someone you don't know can lead you into so much trouble legally with the government or even with the family and the person you're renting to. So, most landlords, the benefit of this KYC or knowing your client is to help them in the process of decision making and also make sure that in the event this information is required by government, they have that information. So the challenge with this is most of the time for an estate agent, when you approach a landlord that there's someone interested to buy or rent their property, the first question you'll be asked, who is this client? Now, on this other end, when the agent begins to inquire that, yes, you're interested in this property, but the landlord would want to get a little bit of information about you. Now, that's where the block comes in. For the landlord, the moment they get this information about the client, they are able to quickly make a decision whether they want to proceed and book a viewing or not. Yet most clients find this information a bit intimidating when you begin to ask them who they are and what they do for a living. So if there could be this understanding for the person who is sourcing for a property, you could save yourself time, wasting time visiting so many properties that you feel you don't want. And we incur this every day. You find an already infuriated client who has been to so many properties, and the first complaint they'll give you that the estate agent has taken me to so many properties that I don't like, that are out of my budget, and so forth and so on. So it is very important that you allow at least the agent to get this appraisal, get this information to help in your appraisal to get a property. You will save time, you'll get the property that you want. You'll also be able to get a relationship with your landlord, you know, before you even occupy that property. So KYC for the landlord is crucial in enabling them to make decisions to book an appointment for you to view their house. It doesn't matter what level, whether it's low class, middle class, or upper class. Even right now, majority of the people we get asking us to assist them vetting or sieving out clients are the low income properties. We get so many asking us to help them with at least a template on how they can sieve their clients. So for the landlord, KYC is such an important thing for you to do because it's not something that should come at the end of the transaction, but at the beginning of a transaction. So for me, every time I come across an inquiry, whether it's for property management, property sale, or property valuation, I have a template that normally I send to clients. And over the years, why did we develop this template? Because you find yourself having a conversation for a long time, and then at the end of the it, you realize that it's a business that you do not want to take. So, for example, if somebody is inquiring that they need an on-site property manager in Sudan, in Mombasa, we are located in Nairobi. So the first information, the template that we have that guides the client to provide us with information on everything about their property and what kind of property management design or type they are looking for will be enable us to immediately tell you that this is not what we do, and so we let you go. But majority of our clients will sieve this information, or can say hold the information and only tell you in general that I have a property that I want to put under management, and so they want you to already send them your management contract, which we cannot do most of the time, because the more information we have, the more is the more valid for us to see whether it is necessary to send you this contract of management or not. So you'll probably look at our requirement and realize there's too much information we need before we can volunteer this information. And I think about KYC in Africa, for example, with so many people without proper data collected about them with the government, a lot of us exist probably without even the government knowing whether we exist or not. So in simple term is the chaos that you find in Africa when it comes to trying to do an appraisal for someone looking for a property results even from the system itself, because For example, let me say, I'm saying so many examples, but if we're thinking about Airbnb business, and I know every other time I talk about Airbnb business because it's really on the upward side in Kenya. So, if you are renting an Airbnb business and you want to do an appraisal for a client who is coming to your property for a week, I have had instances where someone will provide you very, can I say, fake details of an employer, fake identity card, and we don't have a way of verifying these documents in a week or even in a month. I don't know where else what method I can use to verify someone's identity card, whether it's legit or it's fake. Even just if they tell you they're doing business, there is so much businesses that people do, including online, that are almost, you can't verify them. But the most important thing for me is maybe to put this to the government, that how do we verify the identity of a person in this country to appraise them, to rent a property, to buy a property? The system is still so chaotic, for lack of a better word, that anyone can slip in through and give you fake identity and rent a property and land you in trouble. So it leaves the landlord in a very messy situation. So when someone demands that you give them, maybe not demand, but as a requirement when you're renting a property, that you give them your basic information of where you live currently, who is your landlord, if you're working, where do you work, the size of your family, and your budget, and all that. I hope, like, going forward, people will start looking at this requirement as something that is even useful for them, not just for the landlord. And as a real estate agent, maybe hoping that one day we can get to a space where if I ask any client for this information, they will not feel, uncomfortable sharing the information for any reason. Because for us who are dealing with high-end real estate, majority of our clients are people who are well traveled and they know the rules in other countries where it requires that you need to apply for you to get a property. Sometimes it can take up to a month before you get any landlord willing to rent to you their property, or the appraisal process is complete. So in Kenya, you will go online, call an estate agent, book an appointment. And I have even noticed that many people, if you tell them that, kindly give me your information so that I can reserve or book an appointment for you to look at this property, they still feel very uncomfortable. In fact, majority will tell you, I've talked to so many agents, they are willing to show me the properties instantaneously. So why are you making this such a big deal? I don't have time. I want to see all the properties today. I need to meet you somewhere. So we see properties. So it creates such a chaotic situation even for estate agents. We have seen situations where you're going to view a property with a client, and this client is accompanied by several agents. And for me, it is very, very, very unprofessional, because you need time with one estate agent at a time, so that you have the attention and they give you also the full attention and give you all the information you need about every property they have on their profile. But if you have to book like several appointments with six different estate agencies, and you need to see all these properties in a day, then the value that you get is it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So my take is, getting an appraisal or getting providing information to an estate agent to share with the landlord in order for you to get appraised for a property is very important. It could save you time and money. It could save you time and money, and also saves the estate agent time and money, because we can't go around looking for a property for someone that I don't know their names. I only probably know a name. They are giving you a name. I don't know where they work. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know the size of their family. They're holding this information like, if I ask them, there's something else I could do with it. So knowing your client is the most complex relationship between landlord, estate agents, and prospective people who are looking for property either to buy or sell. And maybe it's not just in Kenya, maybe other parts of the Africa, it's still that complexity of people trying to hold that information. So if you're one of those people who, when you're looking for a property and you feel uncomfortable giving your personal information to the estate agent, please tell us, why do you feel uncomfortable sharing this information that is very useful in helping you to identify the property you're looking for? Why do you feel uncomfortable to tell the estate agent the budget that you have and which areas you want to find this property and how long you want to stay in the property? Why is that so hard for many people who are sourcing for property? And do you believe that by sharing this information about yourself, your family, and your work could save you money and time when you're looking for a property, whether in Kenya or elsewhere, away apart from the Western countries where the appraisal process is very clear and you have to meet those requirements before you can be uh, invited to view a property. As today concerning know your client, and I hope this video will open up your mind, especially if you're in Kenya and you're looking to buy a property. If you meet an agent and they ask you specifically to give you your budget, your genuine budget, and in some cases, some people even want to get information if you've gotten a bank approval, you've gotten your loan approval on how much it is, so that they work with exactly what you've gotten. And I'll give an example in a situation where we were trying to sell a property to a particular client and she found a property she liked, but it was slightly over her budget by about 10 million. She decided to pursue it and went on to sign a sale agreement. But when it got to the bank, that sale agreement was rejected. And this was after 2 months. Deep down, probably she knew how much money the bank is willing to give her for mortgage, but she got a bit overambitious and decided to pursue this. So on this other end, if we knew how much was approved by the bank for her loan, I don't think we would have advised her to pursue this in the way she did. So if you're watching this video, do you think it is important for um, people who are sourcing for properties to volunteer this information to estate agents and landlords to enable them to help you get these properties ASAP? And even the person who is looking for a property, on the flip side, you could be a landlord on the other side. So even when you deny this information to the estate agent, on the other side, you could be a landlord. Is it important for you to get all this information about your prospective buyer or prospective tenant well in advance to enable you to make decision? Imagine a situation where a landlord has a house that has fallen vacant and they get 5 different clients with a good brief biography of this client. In terms of decision making, it will be very easy. It will be very easy for them to make a decision whether they want to proceed with the client number 1, 2, or 3. But in most cases, you find there's very little information that is given, and most clients would want to give this information at the tail end, especially when the lease is being prepared. That's when someone will tell you, I need to insert a diplomatic clause because I work for the UN and this is what is required. That is all from us today. Thank you very much for watching this video. Until next time, bye.